And we are back. Welcome to my predictions for the Euro 2024 playoff semi-finals. Tomorrow night, 12 teams will have the opportunity to qualify for 3 playoff finals, where of the remaining 6 teams, they will be whittled down to 3 final teams to take the final 3 spots in Euro 2024 this summer. This video will be going across all 6 semi-finals taking place tomorrow night. So before we get into it, if you haven't done so already, please do consider dropping a like on this video if you do enjoy my prediction series, and do consider subscribing to the channel as well, because of course, when it comes round to Monday morning next week, we will of course have the predictions for those 3 finals. So without any further ado, let's get straight into it. Now, these finals are split into 3 separate actual finals: Final A, Final B, Final C, and those are already drawn off of these semi-finals. So the first 2 fixtures on your screen will make up Final A, second one's Final B, and the third one's Final C. So that is how we're going to do it. We're going to break down all the teams that will go in towards Final A, then B, and then C. So we'll start off with the first game, which is between Poland and Estonia. Now, Estonia, it is quite a fascinating scenario, this. Throughout the entirety of Euro qualifying, the traditional method of actually qualifying for the Euros, Estonia picked up a grand total of 1 point and only scored 2 goals. They are in this position because they were the highest qualified team from the Nations League, League D. That has given them this spot in the playoffs, but they are coming up against Poland, who are obviously a very strong side on their day. And to be honest, like I say, given the fact that Estonia quite literally only accumulated 1 point and 2 goals during qualifying, I don't think anyone's going to be too surprised when I say that I think the first team making their way to the playoff finals is going to be Poland, and I'm going to go for a 3-0 win. To be honest, this is just more a case of how many Poland get. I really don't see Estonia scoring, and it really could be a free-for-all for Poland. The other game in this section, or this mini-league as it were, the other side of the A draw, sees Wales taking on Finland. Now, I don't think this is as clean-cut as people are making it out to be. I think Wales should definitely be considered the favourites. I think on paper they have a slightly stronger team, and obviously they are the home side with the Cardiff City Stadium. Going to be an absolutely really strong place for Wales to be playing, a really difficult place for Finland to play at. However, Finland do have some decent players. Obviously, Lukas Hradecky, the Bayer Leverkusen goalkeeper. We all know about Teemu Pukki, the former Norwich City striker, now applying his trade in the MLS, as well as Taylor, for any of you that have watched any Inter Miami, because you're interested in seeing Messi and Suarez, etc. Taylor, the Inter Miami winger, also plays for Finland as well. So they definitely have some players that we're going to know. They definitely have some players that are going to cause problems for Wales. But like I said, I think with the home advantage, with the slightly stronger team on paper, I'm still going to expect Wales to get the result. So I'm going to go for 3-1 to Wales. I think that's about right. I was very tempted to go for 2-1. I do think Wales should be too strong in the end, and I'm going to go for 3-1. So for Final A, I am predicting a Poland and Wales final. That then takes us on to the semi-finals for Mini League B, as they're calling it. The first game there is Bosnia versus Ukraine. Now, I think this is a really tight one to call. The form guide and even the rankings would suggest that Ukraine take this one pretty comfortably. However, they don't really have a lot of players on form at the moment. Obviously, we all know about Mykhailo Mudryk, and he's very inconsistent as and when he even plays for Chelsea, let alone the performances you see from him when he is on the pitch. Although the last couple of games he has looked decent. Their main striker, Yaramchuk, has only scored 3 goals all season. And in my opinion, their best player in Tsigankov is out injured. On the flip side, Bosnia have some players in some real good form at the moment, scoring goals domestically and, of course, in the international side as well, especially their 2 strikers. So, for me, I'm not confident enough to go for a Ukraine win in 90 minutes. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw on the night. I think Bosnia are going to make it a really tough game for Ukraine. But ultimately, in the end, I'm still going to back Ukraine to get the spot in the final. So I'm going for 1-1 in normal time. Ukraine coming out on top in extra time and or penalties. The other game in Mini League B sees Israel taking on Iceland. This game, of course, will be taking place in Hungary due to the ongoing conflicts. But this is a really, really tough one to call as well. And in fact, of all 6 fixtures, these are the two sides that are closest in the world rankings. Israel sit just 2 places above Iceland in the world rankings. However, I think Israel will win this, and I'm not going to predict them to win it well, but I think it shouldn't be too difficult for them. I would expect Israel to win this game, and obviously we all know about the exploits of Aaron Zahavi, again scoring goals for fun in the Europa Conference League, I believe it was, over the last couple of weeks. I'm going to go for 2-1. Obviously, I wouldn't be the first Englishman to underestimate Iceland, especially when it comes to a European Championships, but for me, I don't see them beating Israel. It'll be an interesting final. I think all 4 of these teams have pretty decent chances of winning the respective final, whichever 2 teams it is. But for me, I've got Israel as my biggest certainty as to who will be making that final. And obviously we'll discuss who I think will then progress to the actual Euros in Monday's video. That then brings us to Mini League C, and the only early kickoff of the day will be between Georgia and Luxembourg. Now, obviously, we did a lot of talk about Luxembourg in the Euro qualifying. They put in some absolutely fantastic performances, especially some fantastically defensive performances that almost saw them automatically qualify for the Euros, which would have been an incredible achievement for them. But sadly, they just came up short. They're coming up against a Georgia side where, obviously, all the attention, as always, is going to be on Kvaratskhelia, and as good as Luxembourg have been, I just think it's not going to be enough. I don't really see them scoring. As good as they were defensively in the group stages, I just don't think they've been good enough offensively, and I think Georgia are going to edge it. I'm going to go for 1-0. I don't see it being a high-scoring game. Granted, Luxembourg did get beat 9-0 by Portugal, but that was a freak result in the context of their overall tournament. So I'm going to go for 1-0 to Georgia. We will see what happens, but for me, that's just the way I see it going. And then finally, it is Greece against Kazakhstan. Again, potentially a difficult one to call this, but to be honest, I think Greece have to be considered the strong favourites here. Again, when it comes to world rankings, Greece significantly better compared to Kazakhstan. And they've also had a lot of good results recently, most notably the draw, I think it was with France in their last game. So Greece should be considered the strong favourites with this. We know, as we saw in the group stages, Kazakhstan are more than capable of producing results, but I don't see it happening tomorrow night. And I'm going to go for a 2-1 win for Greece, which will set up, in my opinion, the final with Georgia. So those are going to be my predictions for tomorrow night's games, with my predicted finals being Poland against Wales, Ukraine against Israel, and Georgia against Greece. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments section below. It's going to be a fascinating night of football tomorrow evening. Thank you very much for watching. As always, I'll be back with my reaction to the England-Brazil friendly. That'll be posted on Sunday morning as I'm going to the actual game on Saturday night. And then I will obviously be back again Monday morning to do the predictions for the finals. I will see you there.